In this lesson, we'll add a title and some paragraph copy to our web page. From the previous lesson, we added text to a web page and separated those lines using break tags. To get a title into my page that would be displayed across the top of a web browser, I'm going to use the title tag. And that title tag belongs in the head element of your web page. To make this text a little easier on the eye, I'm going to increase the size of this font using Format, Font, Bigger, or Command Plus. And I'll do that a few times using the keys Command Plus to increase the size of my font. And now within the head tag, from the previous example, I'll add a tab and create an opening and closing title tag. These two tags and whatever I put between the two of them will create a title element in my page. I'll type the copy Best Ice Cream in Boston. I'll hit the pipe key, which is just above the return key on your keyboard, and the House of Ice Cream as a fictional company name. Now if I save this file, or in this case I'll save as, to save a new copy in the Chapter 2 folder, I'll call this ice cream page.htm. I can preview this page in my web browser by bringing up Firefox or Internet Explorer on the PC, sizing my browser appropriately, and then under the File menu select Open File, and find the web page that you just created and open it. At the top of the web browser, you should see the title element that you just created. One thing to bear in mind when you create titles, and this is really a content authoring exercise that your customers should bear in mind. When you use a search engine to search for a subject such as Boston and ice cream, the results of that search usually appear as a list of blue links. The title tag that you put into your web page is more often than not the words that the search engine uses to create that link. Bear that in mind when you're creating title tags. Generally speaking, you want them to read like action statements and state what the purpose of the page is. In this case, Best Ice Cream in Boston, the House of Ice Cream, sounds like where I want to be when it's 90 degrees in downtown. Now that I've created my title, I'll size down my browser window and move it off to the side and switch back over to my text editor to continue working on my HTML. And I'll add some copy that relates to each of these words. To make things easy on my eye, I'll add a few returns, positioning my mouse after the break tag and hitting the return key twice for each of these breaks. And I'll put one or two after flavors as well. I'm doing this because I want to keep this source code looking legible to me every step of the way. Because HTML can be hard enough to learn. We don't need to get in our own way by doing a sloppy job of organizing our code. We want to make things easy to read. We want to be able to glance at our code and jump right to the spot we want to and not have to figure out what we did. After each of these flavors of ice cream, I'm going to add a short description, and I'm going to put that description inside a paragraph tag. I'll click on the line immediately after the word chocolate and hit the tab button. Type P for paragraph and close. And then I'll also close that tag or that element with a closing paragraph tag as soon as I create the opening tag. Now, as you had seen before, when I copied and pasted those break tags, I did it because I wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to make an error in the way that I created my tags. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to click and drag with my mouse on the line where I created my opening and closing paragraph tags. And then under the Edit menu, I'll copy that line, position my mouse after the next flavor in my sequence of flavors, and under the Edit menu, paste, and I'll do that again for the next flavor, and again for the next flavor by clicking on the appropriate line under the Edit menu, selecting Paste or Command V, Control V on the PC, and I'll Command V on the last flavor as well. I'm doing this because I'm going to put a description for each of these flavors, but I might not want to create an opening paragraph and closing paragraph tag each time. And I might just want to make sure that I don't make a mistake. Now that I've established where I'm going to put my content, in this case a description of the flavor, I'll just click in the appropriate spot, which in this case is between my first set of opening and closing paragraph tags, and then I'll type some copy like solid and reliable, helps with a hard day, chocolate ice cream. And the same with vanilla. I might type some copy, light and happy, good before taking a walk. A little description for chocolate chip, no way to go wrong, go for it. And I'll do the same for a mint chip, green and great. You like chips, you might as well live large. And for my last item, I'll add a simple description, good for you, and tastes good too. Now that I've typed my copy, under the File menu I'll save my file, and I'll switch back over to my web browser to see what my code looks like, and I'll hit the refresh button, and I see what I would expect. Each of the flavors appears on its own line with the description of that flavor underneath.